Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Let's start again. So, we didn't do an activity, which we should be able to do it every time we meet. So remember last Saturday, we talked about the journaling. So did you bring your journals with you? No. So let's just do one activity on the journaling first, and then so is this one you didn't have? Or this question? Okay. So who filled the journaling? Who had the luxury of filling the journaling?
I didn't do a very good job.
Okay. So can do you have your journal?
No, I gave it to him.
Okay. Did you fill your journals?
I didn't do a very good job. I did a little bit, and I didn't get into the routine.
I'm getting to the nitty-gritty.
The routine of it.
Yeah. Part of the change, and I'm not saying it as every other trainer will say it. However, part of the change of changing what we do, where we are comfort, is to not to adapt new habit, is to be excited and follow new pattern of activities, and keep ourselves on track till one of two things happen. Either we realize the activities is not getting us anywhere, so we change it a little bit to get somewhere else, or things will take off and we'll keep doing the activities. So every time we meet, we will have a little activity on how to deal with the scheduling, with the journaling, and it will be mainly sharing the weekly targets and what exactly would happen to you, or what did you achieve around these weekly targets. Okay, so if we go back, the weekly target of page 10 in your journaling exercise. Okay, the weekly target on page 10 of the journaling, it will be exactly what should happen this week. That's right.
Say that again.
The weekly target of page 10, it will be exactly what should happen in this coming week.
Or you can start at page 2, right?
Page 2 is supposed to be the week before, when we started.
Okay.
That's right. So I would invite you guys to fill.
But if you didn't start it,
It doesn't matter if you didn't start it. If you didn't start it, just skip this week. Just to always remember that you did not do your homework, okay? Start on page 10 and plan your week.
all right.
So I give you a few minutes to plan your week. You need to run a copy for you?
I'll just fill it in. It's still on my desk.
I can go run a copy.
Okay, let's keep it up there, sure.
I love these pens because you can write and then you can erase.
Oh, wow.
I don't make that many mistakes.
And then you can have them with colors so that you can get different colors for
Yeah,
different
I buy those from my wife and my daughter.
from different
Yeah.
But
They love that
Walmart
stuff.
also has them. Walmart has them. Yeah, because I like to use different colors for different things, like payments and stuff like that, I was agreeing. Yes, all the bookings, I use them. It kind of shows looks like that. You can kind of see, yeah. It kind of looks like that. You can see the payments and what you've done and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, that's smart. He even knows your name. Talking to Google says, hi, Marcel. Where's your calendar? Where's your calendar? You got a
If
folder?
I buy these, then I would be able to keep them away from my little girl, I think.
Your booklet. Plan this week.
Oh, the
that's where you
journal.
get
Yeah,
double.
the journal.
I haven't
Yeah.
started- I haven't started
You
with
said
the
they
journal.
already are at
I
homework?
haven't started
And
with
then
the
I
journal.
have, I do
Yeah. Now there's
very
most of the people
detailed
that
in
stay
here,
table,
cause
that's what we're
I
working
need
on
more
right now.
space than this. So I'm running out of
Seriously.
3 different booklets and see which what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Mm.
On page 4 is to work with. Anyone? You have both? So this is the plan for this week. Okay, we skipped Sunday, but this is the plan for this week. Can you write the 10 minutes just to get it done projects, which is little tasks you can have made, like you can make this week? Marcel, you need one?
Out anyways. I have that on my website and my website.
Okay. So when you're done, just let me know. And please just do it at home. We're not doing it every time. Every time we'll do something different. But okay, to inspire people and people get to commit to do things and to get perceptions. The idea of sharing in a safe environment about what are your plans and being questioned to be in your what's your plans about. It's a key. It's an important thing. So we want to do a little activity right now, which will also partner. So next time when you guys sit, you know exactly who you sit beside, because. So if we get like partner of 2, we are odd number around, even number around the table. So Okay, if you have partner of 2, and can you, if you believe you are a partner A, can you raise your hand?
This time I did.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So partner A in this group?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So partner A, it will be like the same. It will be like 1 minute. Can you run partner B through your plan? Okay. So you can start. Partner A, share your plans with partner B.
This week I still have my
Okay, well, I have a pro workshop this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I need to prep for the pro, and the pro is the pro site, and yeah, so I have a 6-day workshop, so I need to use 1 day to prep for it, and then I'm having a micro testing workshop on the 20, a mini workshop on the 27th of February, so I have to make an outline for that, and then for tomorrow I have meetings and doctor's appointments, so for my husband, he's not going to get to buy stuff anymore, I have to find out what's going on.
Wednesday.
I have a video I have to put on the website, and Bruce Lipton's picture I want to have on the website, so that will be done. So I have a couple of emails and a couple of phone calls to make. So, but this is my main thing, so I have to make sure that that is going to work all right.
The design of the brochure.
Well,
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah, 3 days, yeah. Yeah, so when, these are people that have taken the base schedule, and one of them has taken the advanced too, so I really want to make sure that's done right.
Does it have the crew and everybody ready?
Oh, yeah. Everything is ready, just I have to do a little bit of paper prep, and I have to review what I'm teaching, make sure that
Just one call.
I do everything right.
October, November, December.
And then this is a major thing, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it this week. But this one has to be done.
So partner B say good plan and give high five.
Good plan.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Now it's turn to partner B
Plan.
to share with partner A the plan.
Okay, you're fine.
So the big project is Rolex and February. Basically, the lunch. The lunch and learn when let go on January 31st.
Secure income.
We've doubled on that.
I'm already
We're doing, so let course is specific to,
on
for the lunch and learn is specific to electrical engineering. So on the 31st, and then we have
I'm
the
kind of
Index
trying
on
to,
another
I need to complete
So I
some
thought, hey,
invoices, I can do
we're
that
gonna
at
do a lunch and
night.
learn here, what if we host our own lunch and learn?
Wednesday I have 2
Then
appointments.
next week, for Buildex, so now we'll do a lunch and learn, lunch and
So,
learn, they'll be busy. And so,
Both sounds
I
fantastic.
have a few
the second one will be
things that I
when
wanna
we
work
should pay
on.
people to. So,
Um,
generate,
So I started today as
to
far
invite
as
them to a lunch
getting
and
a
learn.
job
That's
as
where we
an
have our set
intern.
on,
I'm
we
just
know who it is.
trying to get a
The
job
second one
at
is us going out of our way to invite
Get
some
the
potential
receptionist
businesses
receptionist,
to our lunch.
right?
So that one is up there,
My hands are starting to get
and it's
Yeah,
so
but
there's
there's
more
one
work
thing
involved in that,
that's
because we're actually putting it on, we're hosting.
Exactly.
We have to find our location, we have to build an invite list, we're gonna invite, we have to invite the people to do it. So that one, that is, those are the things that we have to, that we're starting to plan on.
I wanna start teaching, but I
think so
prepare
there's
something
so
for
much
the
work
guest
in those
speaker,
lunch and
I
learners that
prepare my
basically
guest
make
speaker
the calls.
thing and everything,
I
and
have
I send
built
them
up
out,
of
and I'm
Wales,
keep getting
one of Wales,
things back, like it's kind of like a
60
dead
minutes
end.
for
Like
lunch
it's not, they're not,
and so we have 60 minutes, what are we gonna talk about?
the massage parlor, so then,
Mapped out.
or is it something like
The
you
first 5
have
minutes we
you
talked about,
created, or
the
is it
efforts
that
and
Joe will keep you
the
on the
next
file,
10
and
minutes
we'll
we do this,
guest
the next 5
speakers
minutes
and
we do
this
this,
and
I
that, and
have a
whenever
overall,
you're
I
teaching,
have
we're
an
already
agenda.
having an hour
So now, this week and next
and
week,
always do
we now have
but
to
they're not
pinpoint
teaching
it.
it,
When
they're
we
not
say that
giving
we're the
it
expert,
enough
what are we
time,
talking about?
because
So
what
we
I
talk
teach
about this
is,
piece,
okay, so you're
what
getting
are
to
we
this
talking
particular,
about? So those are things
those
that,
are
part of the.
beautiful.
So partner A say,
Then
okay, so partner A give high five, give high five and say the good plans.
All of it.
Okay.
but it's not.
So what we'll be doing next time we meet? We will basically, how do you feel when you share what you want to do? Not what did you do.
Where I'm going.
Like in the very first half of the day, we were sharing what we were doing in 2017, 2015, 20 whatever, right? Which has a different feeling. Like you feel proud of what did you achieve. But what does it feel when you say, this is what I will do? It should give you an affirmation or a confirmation, clarity, that you can speak it out. So I hope you go out and really work out and bring the same book with you. So we will go next time and try. You should report, hopefully, to the same partner if they are around, about what happened, because this will be almost a week gone by. I couldn't believe in the idea of journaling till someone explained it to me, and I find out it's a very interesting tool to say no for commitment, to tell people no, I am busy because I have my own plan, not to go to Costco to do shopping because there are very long lines. You prefer to pay higher price at different places. I don't mean something about Costco. I love Costco, you know. But I found it a very interesting tool, and it also, I use it backwards because I go back and see what happened in the last months, when I want to evaluate where my business stand and why I'm not doing what I wanted to do. It gave me a good documentary, a good record of what exactly I did. So it provides a tool to change. Because if we don't learn from what we do, I don't call it mistakes. It's a learning experience. If we don't learn from what we did and we want to try to understand or have clarity where are the gaps, we will not be able to advance because we'll be always doing the same gaps. Okay? Any questions? At all the time, I would encourage you to go to the last page and read the 100+ reasons for journaling and see which ones. It talks about different things. It talks about healings and different aspects, but just figure out which one of these will conquer more. And every time you do a journaling, just sneak a peek to the last page and see these benefits. Did you achieve these benefits or not? Okay? Having the tools is great, but using the tools is what gets you into what you want to do. And my role is to get you to experience and practice few of these tools so you can hopefully keep moving forward. Any questions? Any comments? Okay. So we go back to the same page 9. And can you complete the last column on page 9, which will be the phase 2 of the third column, phase 2. And if you are done with page 9, you should move to page 22. And if you are done with page 9, go to page 22 and start to answer the same questions on page 22, 23, 24, 25.
You got it?
So page 22. And if you stuck, raise your hand. You can answer questions. Just you are in phase 2, so you should fill
Phase 2, column 3.
phase 2.
Here. Oh, across, yeah.
So what I did is last year, the insurance sales, not just our, no, I realize that, it's really not relevant.
No, it's not relevant to me. Because if I want to stand and teach people sales, I have to show I was doing sales in all customers. So when we go after that, we have some questions to ask and or be like, is this relevant to this market? He said, no, great, let's park it here. Maybe exposed to another business. But if you want to go teach sales to insurance broker, you validate with them to know that you are expert in insurance. Yes or no? Okay. So why is it not relevant?
Whenever you focus on emotional intelligence, just
Emotional intelligence is a tool which helps you produce.
get it.
So if I have you and I have somebody else, and they're in the insurance business and they want to use emotional intelligence, would I prefer having you because you have an insurance experience, or having the other guy have zero insurance experience? Which one are you going to know?
Yes.
Is it relevant or not?
Yes.
So why do you tell me it's not relevant?
Because I really want to focus, like, I want to be
You have to
zero
take,
focus.
you have to take, when you do these exercises, you have to free your brain from any limitation. If you went for soccer game with your kids, just try it. If you taught your kids scouts, just try it. You will see how in your bio it is a human inspection sort of. Where do you get that? I had a customer who will stand in the stage and say, who here sleeps 50 days plus in a boy's camp every year? Hands on one. How this is relevant? It's very relevant to what he sells, but he does not sell boys service. He sells a different service. But because he is interacting with these kids, he can, and he's dealing with the problem, it helps him to use, let's say, also for primary school, or public.
We're still in 2017.
So the other thing I really want to try to accomplish today, so I was struggling with that phone script, remember?
What happens?
Well, I was not successful. I phoned a number of smaller call it 30 and yeah. So I did bring my laptop.
So after let's go to the woman first. I'm more than happy to do this.
So
But you have to understand, like, I don't want to impose my ideas.
no, I realize that, but I value your ideas so much.
I understand, but like sometimes when I come across people say like it's your way of life, it's not my way of life. Like I work with what you have, and I can give you some ideas. We can actually massage it, or we can give different concepts. So we should finish it.
Okay. I'll pull up the laptop. Sure.
if you're done with page 22, we should go to page 23. And move to page 24 if you're done. You just need to have 1 year, so I want to just do the exercise on 1 year. So please complete page 24 and be patient to continue till page 25. Because if you finish 2017 as 1 year, it shows you the value of how you can consolidate the information together. extra copy for you. So you have no excuse from the homework.
Something personally fun in May, finally. It's been all business, but finally something personal. Something fun.
This particular
I get
quarter,
to write that down, right? Something
Star Wars,
fun?
Star Wars came out.
No, motorcycle race.
You do motorcycle driving?
Yeah, I race motorcycles.
Wow.
If I had lots of money, I would be doing that instead of this, but I can't. So. I have a BMW 1000.
Wow.
Race up in Edmonton. I only got to do it twice this year, but the year before I did it, I think 4 times. So that's my passion.
So you always get the trophy?
Oh God, no.
Why?
That's a long story. Because I don't ride enough. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Yeah, I went a few times to the car race ring, the one by Springbank. This is very,
Is it an oval?
yeah, yeah, this is very interesting. But I had to drive with in one of my friend's car because you need to have the extra enforcement in the seats. You know, so it's very fun.
Racing?
Yeah.
I got off my motorcycle at 145 kilometers an hour in 1995.
Wow.
Didn't break a single bone.
What?
I got up and picked up my bike, gave it a kick, you stupid machine, but I did have concussion. And I was back on a bike 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Went
used
into
That's
front wheel
fortunate.
wobble, couldn't control it.
I used to go at specific speeds, and it was this particular day on 22, coming from south to north. You know, this little gas station, but you come to Highway 3, and wow, nice.
It's a wow machine, all right.
And I was going up there, and then suddenly I found the police looking for a car. So I went in as if I'm trying to fill my car, and I sneaked in the back, and they would actually stop the same exact car as mine, same exact color. And they told them, you were guys on 262.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I stopped doing this.
So, well, a different strategy might have been to go to Germany, because the Autobahn there's no speed limit.
No, the better strategy is Canadians stop bringing German cars here.
There you go.
Not so fun.
Like, you know, the GMCs, the Chevrolets and Chevys will have will read like till 200, 240 mileage. But you will find the car at 140, at 160 will stop, will have an engine shut down.
Yeah, it's not meant to go fast.
It can go, but they do something in it, so
They govern it.
It's a governor.
it's
Yeah.
well, it's stopped. But the German cars,
You
No.
don't have that, no.
yeah, you can keep going with it, you know.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
What kind is it?
So Beamer 735.
Yes, so that is so yeah. Yep. You can drive this at 260 kilometers, and
But you can't do it here.
you can.
No, I mean,
Nobody's watching you on Highway 22. There are these other ladies who they just call police, you know. Come on, you know. There is a reason for this highway not to be like there is no gas station, there is no
22X.
service. 22.
Not 20.
The 22X comes right south,
So,
and then 22 will take you all the way south. So when you pass Highway 3, there's a little gas station there. I had memories of the gas station. So many memories.
Oh, that's your
Oh.
stuff that's
Okay,
loitering
so,
around here. I forgot.
if you are done with 2017,
Stop touching my stuff.
if you are done with 2017, let's go to the next level. Okay, so do you need more time for 2017, or are done with?
Oh yeah, we need lots more time.
Okay.
I need more time.
If you want me to take it home, I'll take it home.
You will take it home, but we wanna
One?
we wanna do that. No, if you need a little bit of time, just keep going. I'm just
Okay.
it's only 3 things.
What?
Only 3 things you have to come up with.
Per quarter.
The recorders are.
I haven't done much, so good. I
Pretty
guess
easy.
you've done. And now I'm seeing that. It's like, Cammy, could have done a lot more.
How do you judge what is enough?
Yeah,
Mr.
right?
Personal Coach, how do you judge what's enough?
I don't know.
So you should fill page 10.
Page 10, okay.
So you should fill page 10 because this is the weekly plan for this week.
Oh, for this week. Oh, cool. Okay.
And then every week you journal it.
Alright.
And when we meet again, you can share with people. So this was the last week.
Oh, I see what
And when you're done all the week, all the journaling, I will have an extra. I have a free copy for each one for everyone when you're done with the fourth week. So
okay.
we have at least once a month. Book.
I have done this. Okay.
So for people who have been done with this particular piece, what do you feel about the 15 task you wrote for 2017? Whoever did not finish, you can keep writing it. I just how did you feel about the, because we basically have each one of these activities are 3 tasks. That's right. Task 1, task 2, task 3, and these are 5 different columns.
Where's
This will
that?
be like 15.
What
50.
page is that?
Page, across all the pages, you should have 15 different activities, right?
Oh, okay, got it.
So do you feel you had enough, or you accomplished something in 2017?
No.
Why is that?
Why would you have 15 activities?
Well, yeah,
Because you have 3 here,
Well,
Five,
3,
ten.
6.
3 here, you had 3 here for 2015.
Couldn't you? You said you could duplicate them now on the next ones.
If you duplicate them, you can duplicate them, but usually usually people don't duplicate them.
Really?
Usually the mentality, the way it works, like 80% or more will basically have different sets.
Okay.
Like, and try with your kids or try with your partner and say, what did you do, honey, last year? Oh, we went to Mexico. So can you, and you assumably you went to Mexico in July. And if you turn it back and say, can you tell me what happened in July last year? She'll tell you, oh, your parent came in for a visit. You just said in 2017 you went to Mexico, but in July you remember my parent came to. Like, it doesn't make sense. No, it does. Because when we look at a shorter time frame, if you remember, each one of us has different triggers. Like we talk about money, relationship, whatever it is. And when we look at a specific time frame, we will get the most out of it, which will fulfill what we have. So what was really important for her at the time, she traveled to Mexico during the year, but she did not realize that this was in July. So play this, don't call it games or tricks, but play this game with your friends, or with your loved ones, because you live with them in the same house. So pick up say, okay, so what happened this year? What is the most important things happened this year? If she said one event happened, focus on the same quarter or the summer or the season or the same month and say, so do you remember or do you like what happened this month? Give me one thing happened this month and do you like it? Very rarely she will go back and say, it's actually traveled. It's very rare. I've been doing this for quite some time now and I'm amazed. Even the level of details you write will be different.
And also, you have to understand that males and females, we think we're wired differently. So we think differently, you know, and within the male and within the female kind of thing, again, we're all wired, we're all different, right? So you gotta put that into it. So that's the reason if you pair up with the opposite sex, usually you get wonderful like point of views because
I mean, this is not necessary because some
It's a
people pair with the same thing. Don't want to get there, okay?
yeah. But anyway,
Okay,
that's
anyway.
different.
Let's just
So keep
so
an open mind for that.
so how many of you have 15 different 12 to 15 different activities, and they don't feel they made enough accomplishment.
I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to.
Okay, so you did not accomplish as much as you want to.
Yeah. Because of
So the
planning.
question will be, what will make you fill the gap?
Planning.
Okay. Now, we are doing this to extract authority. What did we do? So, can you go through the pages and look for a specific thread? A thread will be a family thread, a business thread, any kind of thread or similarities you can see between these activities. Grab a random color from the box in front of you and mark beside these particular lines. Mark with the colors. Sorry?
What do we have to mark? What didn't work out? Or?
No, you mark the similarities between the activities. So, for example, one thread will be if you have, I'm not sure if you have how many massages you made or how many workshops you ran or how many times you drove your daughter.
Yo, I can't do that unless I actually look into my daytime.
Okay, from these pages, figure out similar activities,
Similar activities.
cross of different tables, and mark them with specific colors. Okay? Figure out one similar activity which goes through this. You have 15 columns. And believe me, if you do it in full, you'll have much more than 15 columns. Because you're supposed to have at least one column per day. Or more. So figure out a specific theme, thread, or similar activities which gone through the 12 to 15 columns. And just mark it with one color.
Is it from phase 1 or everything?
Everywhere. It's supposed to be everywhere. Okay? We just want one color for now. Don't go to the second activity, just one activity for now. Okay? One question imposes itself right now. How many of you here did not have the same color on every single page? Does anyone doesn't have the same color on the 4 pages? At least once? Okay.
Oh, so only for this year?
Yeah, we just do it for this year for now because we want to just. So, what does it mean you don't have the same color on the same quarters?
You didn't do it?
You did it because this is what you did. So, what does it mean if you don't have the same thing?
That means you were scattered or disjointed.
Disorganized.
Can you repeat again? Can you repeat, please? Because I cannot say this word.
They were scattered or disjointed or disorganized or
Or you were
Fragmented.
over all that space. You are not having focus.
no focus.
So the only time which is allowed. So if I pick up the red color, for example, I must have on page 22 a red color. I must have a red color on 23, 24, and 25. If I don't have at least this color on each page, I did not talk yet about each column. Okay, I did not talk yet about each column. If we don't have on each page, what does it mean? One of two things. You are either scattered all over the space, you are not focused, or what you memorized and remember in this activity right now, there some other activities happen more important for you than this particular theme, which means you need to have supplement pages where you can extract more information. The third justification we always seen, it will be a career shift or a closure of a project or a start of a new project. There is no other determination or explanation for this observation other than these three. Number one, I am not focused. Like I'm doing a consultation business and I don't have customers every quarter. Or my headlines is not achievement with my customers every quarter. Number two, I did not write enough. I need more and something else happened. Number three is I started my business or I start on this particular thread of this particular year. Do you get it, guys?
So
Now,
your approach is to have one of each color in every quarter.
it's not my approach. If you do it without any limitation or plan in mind, and you are good in what you do, you should have naturally at least one color on every single page. Same color. So if he is a business coach or he's a law of attraction coach, and he will write one activity, 3 activities per quarter, 3 activities every 3 months, at least one of them has to fall naturally because it will be significant. If I'm a speaker on a stage, for example, just an easier example, if I'm a speaker on a stage and I sell from the stages and I want to say what happened last year and I will split it into 4 different quarters, will you expect me to have at least one event per quarter?
You should.
That's right. If I make my living off speaking, I must have one event per quarter. That's right. So if I come naturally without having this as objectives before I start to write, and I found myself missing 2 quarters, it means what? Either I was not busy, I was not focused to do what I was supposed to do, or there are some other activities happen which more dominant in my memory right now. That's right. Or the third one is I just started or I just finished the contract. So that's why I'm not allowed here. So this is just analysis of what kind of colors. That's why when you ask the very first question, is this relevant to business or relevant to life? This is relevant to life. You can see the business through it. Okay? This makes sense?
Well, except for it might not be relative to the categories or whatever in my blocks. Because I picked up 7: business accounting, business bookkeeping, business operations management,
Good.
Personal, professional, health, and life. So, like for example, I had a networking party in my backyard.
It's great.
Is that professional or is that life?
It's function of what you achieved in it. Because if you can bring the networking event to business owners, it can be toward business.
Why did you have the networking event?
And why weren't we invited?
And why weren't we invited?
This is a different story.
Why did you have it? Why did you have it?
It was our networking group. We do a social
Professional
event.
or personal?
It's professional.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just answered your own question.
So remember
right,
these
fine.
activities to be written here.
You're helpful.
It will help you using it once you need to use it to have a better impact on your audience. That's why I know there are few individuals who say like, should we do it in this way or this way? It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is can you capture the most important things happen. And by the way, we are here for quarters.
Yeah, but for this purpose of this exercise, you kept on going, how many clients did you meet? I mean, I've got probably about 20, 25 clients I might meet in a month, right?
Great.
But I didn't have those stats to be able to record those today.
You,
Right, 'cause
that's,
we're in a different program.
and that's why we are here into a starting phase of the whole activity. We are not here, this is not conclusive, it's just to put you, because you are in business, to put you into the framework to look at this information.
At the
Okay?
end of 2018, we should be able to whiz through that from what we've done for the year.
Yes, in particularly, if you start to fill the journal. Now, if you missed some information here in your bio, does it really matter? My immediate answer to you guys, without thinking of it, it doesn't matter much, because early on you didn't even have any information. This is very valuable for people who are trying to find purpose in life. Like somebody coming off work, they cannot do anything, they want to reposition their activities. Can you tell us more of what happened in your life? Someone in a business wants to move to the next level. Can you go through your tree here and write down here how many customers did you serve over the last year? This is a very valuable information. Can you tell us how many customers from which segment? Like, you have the customer. What's the nature of this customer? Is it small business? More than, I don't think you serve anybody more than 500 employees. Okay, so is it a 4 people? Because one piece of information here, according to Statistics Canada and whatever it is in the government, you have 4 people employees, less than 4 people employees. You have 4 till 20. You have 20 till 100, 100 till 500. And then you have 500 plus. These are the classes of small business. In Canada, 18.6% of our businesses who pay taxes to the government are in this category. Less than 4 employees. It's 18.6% in 2016. Okay? So, in your business, sir, how many did you serve here? You may say, I'm not sure right now, but I can look it up. So if you find out, for example, you helped 100 customers last year, and you will find out that 60% of them are in this category. And you can get 10 testimonials from these people. It means, who are your ideal clients? Who are?
That category.
This category, which is what? 1 to 3 people. That's right? Because this category is less than 4. That's right? So the more you can visualize questions and classification, qualification, quantification in these ones, the more you can do that, the better clarity you will have. Okay? Do you like to see another example?
But with this, this doesn't really support this book, and that this should also have an area that's a list of your accomplishments.
It's actually inside every day. This is the weekly plan,
Right.
and then
Oh, right.
you have the daily stuff. So
Yeah. Okay.
so what to do and the good things of the day. There's something called good things of today, and my partner, my wife, and partner in crime, you can say it, said good things of today is not pure, is not perfect English. I said I will have it good things of today till somebody told me that this is not a good English, okay? Why you laugh? Nobody gave me a comment yet, okay? Good things of today, okay? So the point I want to say is this tool is critical here. Now, when you stand in front of someone in a networking event, in a meetup, and you do know for a fact that this is a starting business, you know for a fact that these people are maybe 4 or less employees, you come and say, you know what, we can do your bookkeeping and taxes, because we served 100 people in 2017. And by the way, 60% of them are less than 4 employees, which is exactly your category. And we saved them. We did this 1, 2, 3 benefits to them. Is this a better authority for you than just come and say, I helped 100 small business owners?
Of course.
What's the difference between these two articulations?
Detail.
The level of details you can illustrate. Are both of them the same lie, if they are a lie? Or both of them are the same truth?
Right.
They are the same because you had 100 invoice. I assume if you say I served 100 customer, I assume you have 100 invoice from invoice 1 to invoice 100. So how you classify and how you see these objectives is a function of you. If you stand in front of somebody between 100 to 500, will you tell him 60% are less than 4? No. You'll tell him only you have 100 small business SME, that's right? You will not use this particular detail. So this tool should equip you with information to have it in the back pocket of your discussion. So when you stand in front of people trying to push your business forward, when you go to different events, different interaction, different blogs, different whatever, you have articulated different level of details where you can push forward if you know. If you never did this exercise before, what will happen is you will lose businesses opportunities because you basically try to develop them on the go. And sometimes we don't know why people don't call us back.
Can you say that again?
If you don't have these details up front, and I will ask you, I will not call you back, and you have the courage to call me back and say why you didn't want to give me the business, I tell you because I didn't get clarity on 1, 2, 3, 4. You will develop this while you are going through lost opportunities because you are not ready for it. That's why when somebody asks me like, how long will it take for me to start my business? Somewhere between 6 weeks to 6 months. Because you need to have this information, and I cannot write it for you. If you have these books ready, people can jump in and help you. If you don't have these details, I cannot create it for you. Okay? So can you go back and pick up another color and mark an alternative thread on page 9, 22, 23, 24, 25. A thread can be a different activity, different business line, personal, family, maybe different customers. And you can have double colors on more than one color in a single column. You can have, you must have at least one color per column. And you can have as many as you can from colors per column as well. if you are done, now we have to move to page 26. And on page 26, it will be the writing part. So I want to start with you because I see so many colors. So yeah, because I see you are doing it right. Like unfortunately, I ran out of all the copies that we made for this group, so for the booklet. So it made me feel bad. Can you pick up one color and you come and say, in 2017, fill the blank. So pick up just one color, one thread. Because one color will be one activity in one area, right? You can pick up whatever activity, whatever, just pick up one color and just read it. If you don't want to participate, I'm okay, I'll just appreciate that's what. It's up to you.
So, page 26.
Page 26, yeah. We are
Like
now
your
working.
authority on one activity.
We have to start with one, and then
Okay.
we'll do the other, But let's,
That's interesting.
So just share my little tidbits of.
Yes.
Okay.
yes, on one color, across of
Okay.
all the pages. So which color will you pick up? The green?
I'm gonna go with the yellow.
Okay, so pick up the, just to start, shout out. You have 5 pages, you have page 9,
Okay.
and then you have page 22, 23, 24,
Okay.
25. Yeah, go ahead.
So I co-managed a conference, putting all the materials together for a conference. I actually co-managed putting together a secondary event for another client. I managed a complete project for retired executive who needed everything done. So I did that. I was able to assist in a management role with the launch of a product. Let's see.
Okay, so to help you out here, we start with the first sentence. You said, I managed a conference.
Okay.
So if you will write this, you'll say, the first draft, I managed a conference. What are the qualifications for this conference? Remember, you have to qualify them. So the qualification questions will be, what size, volume, or quantity?
Okay.
So what's the volume, or what's the size?
550 delegates.
Okay, so it's 550 delegates, or 500 plus.
Okay.
550 plus, it's okay too. How long was this conference?
It was 6 days.
So it was 6 days or a full week. Which area this conference was? Was it a technical conference? Was it a tourism conference? Was it what?
It was all of those things. It's an association conference.
It's much even better. You say so. It's an association-led conference.
Okay.
It's even much better. You see, like when you start writing down that I have a conference, it's a good starting point. When you start to qualify it and to quantify it more, you say
Details.
how the wow factor comes to it. Now, your question, the question for you will be, 500 is a good number or not? Somebody say, you know what? Conferences will be like 3,000 people. It's okay. We don't say it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You have to be flexible. With the framework, you have to be flexible. How many of those conferences did you do in 2017?
1.
You did 1. So we don't touch it there because 1 is a few.
I've done them for 10 consecutive years.
So you're doing the same conference for 10 years?
Yes.
I've done over 10 conferences in my.
Okay, so if you did this for 10 years,
Yes.
this is a different wow factor to it.
Okay.
But if you did 1 a year, is a now factor, is not wow factor, is a bad factor.
Yeah.
Because when you do a conference, a yearly conference for 10 years, it demonstrates a continuation, a trust of delivery, and acceptance of your peers and your customers and your clients to call you back. So you are somebody I love to work with because you are consistent. If you say one conference in 2017, what the heck, I used to run 3 to 4 conferences every quarter. That's right.
That's right.
So you see how the messages. I am not judging.
No.
I am not saying you are wonderful. What you are doing is wonderful. But because when you start to say a conference, what was your second statement? What was your second sentence?
I don't recall what I was
If you cannot recall your expertise, how do I recall it? You said you managed a small event.
Yeah, I helped somebody put together a lunch and learn to build their client base.
Okay, you help somebody putting together lunch and learn. So what will be the qualification questions about that?
So how many people who managed the reach out potentially for that lunch and learn?
What else?
How successful was the lunch and learn? What were the
So
results?
how you measure success of a lunch and learn?
The number of people that follow through to the next level.
Okay, so the number of sales happened,
Yes.
the number of people. So just saying I did a lunch and learn is not wow. It's good for you.
Okay.
But when you say I facilitated a lunch and learn, or I was part of a team, it's even much better because now you are what?
Team player.
Excellent. So when you talk about your service as an event management consultant, you can say I can take over the whole event on my own, or I can collaborate with your team and give you extra resources so you can save your time. And I used to be a team player who put together a lunch and learn. Was it one or multiple events?
Just one.
Okay, so if it's multiple events, it will be a lunch and learn series.
Okay.
If it's one, we don't mention it till we be asked how many. Okay? And usually when you use this technique, you will drop out, or you'll drip out, as somebody was saying it, so many information where people will be interested in some other part of it.
So could I add the fact that in this role I also managed, like I start every year in the whole management of the conference. So I start with the call to papers, I start with the correspondence, like throughout the whole year. I
Yeah.
sort of manage the whole process of it.
Yeah, you can, because you give the wow factor. Do you have enough time to give more information or not? Definitely on a website, you have enough space.
Right.
In a conversation, who's controlling the space? Who's controlling the time? The interest of the listener, not you. Does it make sense?
It does.
So this is the first level of a draft. All of you agree on it? Does it make sense? So this is the first level. The second level of the same draft. So this is the first level of the draft. The second level of the draft, you have to incorporate what is on page 27 and page 28. So page 27, 28, we talked about the power words. Okay? So you pick up from these pages and how to pick up from them. Basically, before you start drafting, reading these 2 pages, will stick in your mind a specific vocabulary that you will use. Okay? It's a tedious process. It has to be written so many times, but this is the way to do it. Okay? Does it make sense? So can you go through these ones and find out what are the adjectives or what are the words you have to use? For sure you will not use now, new, because you don't talk about now. Maybe you have a novel idea, maybe a new idea, but you don't have. So what is the third step in this plan? The third step is to go back with 4 colors. And these 4 colors are These 4 colors are for time, for process, for relationship, and can use the yellow one or the orange one for dollars. And make sure that all of these triggers are incorporated in your paragraph.
What's the last one?
Dollar sign. So can you talk? I don't know how randomly you came up with this conference example, but I love it. So can we do it for the conference example? So you help managing the conference of a 500 plus. I don't remember my stuff. It's association led, so I help an association led yearly conference on average of 550 plus or 500 plus to run smoothly, where everybody enjoy. The management team or the organizer will have complete clarity on the steps involved and people who can submit the papers. They can be on the schedule usually runs on time, and there is very little pitfalls, and they break even by sponsorship and by collecting registrations. Do you like to hire me as a conference? What do you think about it?
Organizer.
Conference organizer or conference head, whatever, yeah. Conference organizer. What do you think about it?
I think that's great.
Do you want to pick up another color and talk about it? Do you want to pick up another activity and talk about it? So once you finish this tree structure, this quad tree structure, you fill the tables as much as you can. You have to be honest, guys. Not all the questions can be answered. Even some of the questions doesn't make sense. Quantity, quality, size. What's this? Because it's not really doesn't. It's just a way for me to communicate to you. Just quantified, qualified, and quantified. Okay. One more thing here. Do you know how big is the association? Is it the largest one in Canada?
It is.
Is it the only one?
It is the only one.
Okay. So will it be a different spell when I say I am working with the only project management associations in Canada holding their flagship annual events? Where is the same? It's the same. So when you pick up this word together and you put it, will this create a wow factor for you or not?
Yes.
So why you didn't have it from the beginning?
So why what?
Why you did not have it from the beginning?
Wasn't part of our process.
So this is a process which is I can very strongly say I invented to how to polish and give a wow factor to everything I do.
So what did we put the colors against? Against the bottom part, the phase 2?
In phase 2, you should incorporate as much as you can from the power words. Okay? And then the paragraph will read, we want to make sure that the emotional trigger, remember this emotional trigger we have discussion before? The dollar, relationship, process, and time. We have to make sure that this emotional trigger existed in this particular paragraph. So when I write my authority, I will write my authority. The first step is I will borrow sentences from every column and write these sentences here. The second step is to pick up from these words and see if I can make it flashy. Sometimes you say, you know what, it's too much flashy. It will hurt my eyes.
When you
It's
talk
okay.
about borrowing sentences though, from here or from up here or from where?
Anywhere in the column, whatever, however you want to describe what did you do. However you want to describe it. And this is the first starting point. The second one is to pick up flashy. If you find it too much flashing and it hurts your eyes, it doesn't matter. Don't use all the words. The third step is to make it to match the engagement triggers. People engage with money, people engage with relationship impact, people engage with process, people engage with time. If you can do it all, it's great. If you can do one or two, it's not bad, because was one statement within a specific color you made, which has 4 or 5 different sentences. So we don't want to be cherry picky on one. And then how many colors do you have overall?
6 colors, I think.
Which should translate to how many paragraphs on your authority?
6.
6 or 5 or 4. I don't know how many will be relevant. And we don't know also how many will be very long to split it into 2. Why do I split into 2? For example, if I'm serving 2 different industries, that's right? So I will split one color into 2 different segments, that's right? So I'm doing maybe insurance, maybe car sales. So these are 2 different industries. So I talk about activities in these 2 industries. So I will split one color into 2. Sometimes I'm doing things like, as you see, at the end, he's a husband. And whenever they wrote about me, I'm a husband, they forgot the D. With the very original writing, somehow the D disappeared. And every time I take my bio different places, he's a husband, not D as in. They forgot that he's just a typo. So he's a husband, enjoys the time with his kids traveling around the world. How do they know that I was traveling around the world? Because when I did this exercise, it was one of the things that we travel here and here and here and here and here. So when somebody looked at it and said, no, how to consolidate 16 travel a year, or going to 6 countries a year, they say he travels around the world. Do you get it, guys? Does it make sense?
Is this out of context, though, to bring up, like, we talked before about engaged triggers and the fact that if the people I'm going to be speaking to about what I do are more of the money and time relevant people, should my paragraph then just more so focus on those 2 triggers?
Your paragraph should focus on the 4 triggers. However, you will lead first in an oral presentation or in an interview or in a person discussion with the triggers which will reflect the most on your audience. So my presentation has the 4 triggers all the time.
Okay.
When I be in front of Canadian Management Consultant, CMC or PMI, I will focus more here on this particular 3. I will not talk too much about the relationship. The same presentation, when I give it in front of people in a lunch hour as a keynote speaker, is I have one. I only have one. For the last 2 years and a half, I have one. Same set of slides. Have one. Nothing else. When I sit in a lunch time and I see the spouses on the table, I start to balance more the relationship. So the triggers are important to have the 4 triggers, because you don't know on your website who is reading what. But you understand, if your business is dominant toward business owners who makes money, it's a tricky question, because business owners, majority of them 4 or under, are relationship. Like it was so obvious when Mariana spoke. What's her quality? Her triggers is more here. Is it good or bad about her? It's not good or it's not bad. This is how 40% of our population start with building relationship. Anybody comes with the green shake in front of them, with the water in front of them, they are into the relationship mode. Why? Because they want to build a better relationship with themselves. You talk to them about how much will it cost and how fast it will work, they will not be interested. But when you start saying how good this activity will be, then how much will it cost and how long will it take to impact, they will listen. If you start anywhere else, they will not listen. You shut them down. You shut them off. They will not listen. So the triggers are important to have, and they must exist on every single page. Now, do they have to exist on every single paragraph? Not necessary. Not necessary. You try to maximize them, but if you don't maximize them, what will happen? You will basically correlate more to the other people. Is it good or bad? There is no good, no bad. It's just the nature of the beast. Does it make sense? If you are in transformational, in healing, in LGTB kind of activities, this is our more relationship. They hate process, they hate time schedule. Many times when people come earlier than their time, because they are not sensitive for time, but they feel the value, so they want to be early to make sure they are there. People who are really into time, they come on time. Like I had this event on tomorrow, on some other days, and 5 to the hour, nobody's here, and in 2 minutes, everybody's in. I don't know even how they can come, because they can climb the stairs together. They come just in one shot, because all of them are some specific group which they are more in this area. In this particular groups, we say is 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes, 91 minutes maximum. But it cannot be it cannot be 85 minutes, it cannot be 95 minutes. It's just 90 minutes. So that's why I have my clock, and when it's close to 90 minutes, I just shut down. That's what I did today. We're going now for lunch. That's it. Because these particular individuals are very sensitive in this area. When they see the sensitivity, I can talk to them about everything else. So the triggers are important to watch. Which one you will lead with? When you write a website, when you write an article, when you write a document, you have no much choices. You just guess who will be the primary audience. However, when you be in a one-on-one, it's much easier. Or you be on the stage, is much easier, because if you know your audience, you will start with in the framework. That's why when you do this business, you cannot do it when you are tired. You cannot do it when you are defocused. You cannot do it when you are worried that your kids, nobody will pick them from school. When you do this business, guys, you cannot have any worry, because your brain will be what? Picking out of these quadrants, how do I start? So when I am tired, when I am not happy, when I am not having high energy, stay home, don't do business, because you will screw up. I'm sorry, this is a fact. So sometimes I disappear, because I have my own. I'm like everybody. Nobody will come here and say, I'm 100% positive in my life every day. This is a lie. We go up and down like everybody else. But we know how to manage our downtime by most likely avoiding people who are doing business with. When you be sad and grumpy, you want to go to your spouse home or not. Some people elect not to, because they don't want to start fire in the house. That's right. When you shake your heads up and down, it means you agree to it. It's the same with the business. The business of speaking and consultancy, it's all about managing these 4 quadrants. I cannot tell you this in the beginning because it takes time to understand. Okay? Any questions?
Yeah, you still lost me at the category. So how did you group the categories to move into the quadrants?
So on the okay, so let's revise the whole process. So the first step is to assemble or write down different sentences which has the same color code, because previous to that we pick up different colors.
So that's where you lost me there. Which sentences have the same color code?
You pick up a color code you have.
Color from where?
So
Color
like
from
if
here?
you-
Color
yeah.
from here?
Well, if you went through it all and you had multiple greens, then you start to build sentences
Yes.
based off your multiple green. So that's what I did. I started to see the correlation between all the green. I recognized for me it's management that's the green,
Yeah.
and then it's like project management, and so
Because I'm just underlining anything that I think might fulfill the category.
Yes. So read it. Read all the greens you have.
I got networking, better practices, connections, and it was all related to screwed up my categories. It was all related to business operations management.
Okay. So can you make them into one sentence? So what did you do? You built networking, Just read them for me because I don't remember them. So you build so you build networking events. What is this?
No, so what this particular one was going to the Boomtown pub, right? I have a weekly networking event.
Yep.
So I just put down networking as it relates to business. The benefits is knowledge of better practices, and what do I achieve? Better service connections.
So you are part of organizing, or you stimulate, or you build networking events
Right.
to articulate the benefits. So you write this as one sentence.
Okay.
Okay? Does it
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
So this sentence is written here as step 1. Okay? So you say in 2017, and you write this in as step 1. And in step 2, you will go and look at page 27, 28. There is this power words which you can use to better explain this is our power words.
Right.
So when you have these power words, can you inject some of these power words inside your sentence? You will find yes, because there is something called I don't remember one, but must be there. You can have improvement, you can have remarkable experience, you can have any of these words if it makes sense. Lifetime achievement as part of the outcome of the networking. So each one of these qualifiers, you can always plug in inside this sentence to be a power sentence. Now we have to go to step number 3. In step number 3, we understand the 4 triggers which build emotional engagement with our sentences. So if I want to go these triggers, what will I do? I will go back to my sentence and color and understand, are these 4 triggers existed or not? If one of them doesn't exist, does it matter? If you said yes, it matters, you put a comma and put a qualifier to fill. If you said no, it doesn't matter, it's okay, move on. Sometimes when we look at these triggers, we go and ask ourselves, how to make this sentence more powerful by incorporated results toward dollars, toward time, toward relation, toward process.
So you create additional sentences which edify the main sentence in one of the quadrants.
Yes. Or in the 4 of the quadrant.
To form a paragraph.
Yes.
Okay.
Now when you come and say, Mike is the master of networking because of, you basically have this sentence made. It will make more sense toward your own business, or it will make more sense toward your own future business or your passive income. If you want to put a mastermind group, if you want to build a training system, if you want to build something else you didn't have, you can do the same exercise. Does it make sense?
So we're not combining categories from this column.
No, you
this column
combine.
and this column.
You can combine. You must combine the same color categories from all the book,
From all of them. Okay.
because all of them will be relevant. And when you combine them, you will have all the sentences. You can delete some sentences. You can group them in a different paragraph. But the idea is to go back and say, this is what I did. So to give you an example, I was contracted in the Middle East for a national program to build a vision and a strategy plan for an entrepreneurship program. But this is the wow factor. No, because it doesn't have an impact. The minute I stepped in and I work with a stakeholder, including international colleges like Babson College, which is #1 in entrepreneurship in the world, we established a program where we taught 17,000 individuals in the first year, teaching them the quality and the skills of an entrepreneur, we contributed 2% to the GDP of this country. That's it. It's no different than just telling you, you know what, I went to Saudi Arabia and I was there, I had the visa for 1 year, and oh, you know what, the men are white, the ladies are black, and it's a black and white country, and everybody around the world is multicolored. It's the same thing. That's right?
It's the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same fact.
I see what you mean.
It's the same fact.
Right.
But the black and white story, which is keep it in your brain. Saudi Arabia and the Middle East are black and white because women will have dress black, man will dress in white. Everywhere else around the world is multicolor. You laugh at it, remember this. You can't tell your story in a multicolor format. You can't tell your story to be a wow factor. So why I can articulate, why I was able to nail national programs in Canada now? Because I articulate. I know I need to talk about how much the budget I manage. I need to talk about how many people get impact from the program I designed. How many in my unit were working with me? We were more than 30 people. This is the truth. Nobody can build national program on his own. But the more I go out with this articulation, and it's true to the, as I said before, I have the phone numbers, names, and addresses of these people who were in the program. But the way I articulated was, did it take your attention? Did you really want to know more from me or not? Did it engage you or not? And this is what all this exercise about. So before we conclude, there are three more pages you should look at. On page 29, it's a demonstration of a 64 access point. So if you want to use the 3 levels authority extraction on page 29, make sure you understand that this is a 64 plus 16 plus 4 plus 1. So this is an 85 table to fill. Okay? How you can fill them if you elect to do them? Very easy. You each branch have it a label, and the same thing. Each table we have table TF232. You just basically have the same. So this is how the structure will look if you want to build a three-layer level. Then you go to page number 30. Page number 30 is the exact structure we dealt with today. It can be 16 years, and you can do year 1 to 4, and this is what I believe Mariana was doing. And then you can, at the leaves here, you'll have 1 year resolution. It's not a quarter resolution. Then if you want to design your tree, you go to page 31, and on page 31 it will show you few split examples. The one which I want to start with is the last one in the very bottom. What does it say? What does it say? 1 day. So you can program your mind to go to a resolution of 4 hours per day. Do you have to do this?
I hope not.
But if you really run by 2-3 weeks without any results, without anything done, what we need to understand? We need to go to understand on the hourly rate.
Daily basis.
No, this is on the hourly basis what you were doing.
Yeah,
Because somebody will go drive her daughter for 6 hours a day. She's putting like 300 kilometers in a day on her car. And then she gives me a call and she complained that's about her business cannot move forward. I'm not pointing finger to you.
He looked at you though.
So when someone comes after 2-3 weeks not having any results, does not work for them, we go back, okay, so what did you do on this day? What did you do on this hour?
And I have it written down. That's how I figure out how long I have to spend.
I'm not,
Write it down very nicely every day.
So this is tool for us to extract what we do, what did we do in life.
I cut it down to 2 hours.
Okay? The other one, which will be if you want to go for 1 month and then you go on a weekly basis, you can have 4 weeks per month, which will work with our journaling. If you have a quarter and you want to go to a higher resolution, higher means more detail, you can do it monthly basis, month 1, month 2, month 3, and you'll find a branch which you cannot use because the quarter has only 3 months. Okay? Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah, when I worked in an ad agency, we had to account for our time for every 15 minutes. We had to put it on time sheets. You
Yep.
be really aware what you're doing
Yep.
with your time, so.
Yep. If you work with serious people, you will be reporting every 15 minutes. However, if you work in the Middle East, you will walk in there and they'll give you in the very beginning of the day hot mint. It's free stuff. So the guy will do the hot mint, then a couple of other hot drinks in the Middle East. And then you start to feel laid back. Because when you get all of these interesting drinks in yellow color, these are, they use it here to reduce anxiety. Like we use these drinks here to reduce anxiety. It's like chamomile. Chamomile, you take it to go to bed, okay? So when you start your day in the very morning, and you have a couple of, not green tea, but you have a couple of like mint, hot mint, and drink, you sit there, and you will notice that the time will go by, and after 16 hours, people have zero results because they are not aware. I was there, and I laughed. Like, you need to do something, guys, because they are not aware of this kind of tracking system. Okay? Is this useful today? Can you go home and fill the tables, which we did not fill? Do the exercise, do the colors, go back from the leaves to the roots, and then try write down a paragraph on page 26 to come
About
to
our authority.
to discuss your authority. You can be intelligent enough to focus on what will drive your business, and you can be as kind and nice to talk about some aspects, because anybody authority at the end, you need to talk about you as a human. That's right. Majority of our technical authority will end up with being a husband, a father of 3 kids or 4 kids and whatever, right? And then next time on Saturday when we meet, each one of you can read his own authority, and we can analyze it. And if in the meantime, if you need any help or questions during the week or so, just send me an email and I will get to it when I will get to it. And remember, the guy in The Incredible said, when they asked him, Dad, when are we getting there? He said, we'll get there when we'll get there, okay? So I'll get to your emails when I will get to your emails. I have no commitment on time, okay? Any questions?
I have a question about the one of the power words. You know, you said the 5 most persuasive words in English are, and one of them is free. And so, like I have for my free sessions, I have complimentary sessions. Is it better to put free in there than complimentary?
You picked up a hard one, because free, it's one of these words where people have perception to it. So sometimes they tell you, this is my free advice to you, because free stand whatever free. Nobody will take responsibility for it.
No.
So we know from the most persuasive word by somebody doing the analysis that free is an important word to use. But we come from it's a gift from you, or it's a complimentary session, better than using it free. So,
so I'm okay with complimentary.
Free is also something that gets blocked by spam filters
Yeah.
in an email.
Mm.
oh really?
Free is blocked?
Sometimes when you use free, it gets blocked by spam filters.
Okay.
So in the next 5 minutes, can we go around the table and just get reflections, what happened? Very big word. Can you reflect? Do you know what the reflection writing means?
No.
I will share it. I'll share it with you guys one next time. So, can you give us your reflection?
It's quite a lot to. So, it's quite a lot to. There's a lot of upfront work that needs to be done to extract one paragraph, and so I really have to go and look at my calendar and see what did I do. And it's interesting. When I focused on the 2014, I had the most struggle, but as I came back, I was trying to catch up. So I was doing 2017. It flowed right through, because I remember more in 2017, but I also remember that it's consistent of what I'm doing. So it reinforced that for me. So now I can extract the authority from there.
One thing I forgot to share, which is when Mike will give us attention. One thing I forgot to share, Mike, is when you talk about number of customers. So you'll come and say, in here I helped like 4 customers. Here I helped 20. Here I helped 13. Here I helped. When you combine this information together, you will find yourself naturally adding the numbers. So if somebody will come and ask you, in the last 4 years, how many business did you deal with? How many customers did you deal with? By having all of these details, you can articulate upfront. Okay. So, sorry, Ishmael, just
No, that was it.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. Just
Do you want to reflect on it?
I think just to sort of piggyback on that, it is a lot of work going back, but I think once you have it done, because it's historical, it should quote unquote never change. So up until today, everything should not, like, you should only ever have to do that once. And then, like you say, the last year is always much easier, mostly because it's easier to go back and see what you've done, and it's easier to update that. It's just quicker. So it is a painful process, but hopefully once you get from 2017 back, you never have to go back through that again.
You will only be required to go back. That's if you want to switch career, or if you want to do something different. If you keep doing what
If
you are
need to, if you need to reframe what you did.
Yes, yeah, reframe is a good word. I love it. Yeah.
Because originally you had that really monster sheet that you'd given us, right, to do the timelines, and you asked me to go back to when I was in the military as well.
Yep.
Because you said that'll affect my story and who it relates to.
Yep. And if you start with 4 years, and you want to do 16, what will happen? You are basically moving 1 layer more. Wait, so you will do the other 12 years underneath. Each one will be the same structure.
Yeah.
So if you stop here and you read your bio and you say, it's wow, I give me the authority, I don't need more than that, you stop. If you find that you need to have an add-on qualities or a better qualities, can you dig more here, or can you dig more in some other years?
And you just append them, because I don't want to.
Yes.
Because like military is like over 20 years ago now, 21 years ago.
So if they are not relevant, they are not relevant. But the question for you in particular was, how many of us would like to deal with somebody who is disciplined inside the military? Because military work is a disciplined work. People who go to the military, they are very disciplined. And there is one guy in town from Italian descent. All his story is what he was doing in Afghanistan. And he's the business coach, time management coach. So this is where it's your decision, it's your business at the end of the day, it's not mine. My role is to show you the tools, give you an experience how to use this tool, answer any questions, and do the best quality we can ever put around the table. And then you go out, share it with people, and see what's their feedback. Okay? Do you want to reflect, ma'am? Do you want to reflect on what happened today?
To me, I can understand the importance of the reporting, the journaling, how valuable it is. I'm in that transition point in my career where I want to move, and yet I don't have that log to reference back to really see what it was that I did. So this is the first time I'm sort of moving forward. And to be honest, one of my columns was really all about struggle for this last year, because I recognized I want to really transition from where I was, and I had some difficulty. But I took that struggle column, pull out the learning points to see why it wasn't working for me, and how I was underpricing and undervaluing myself out of a sense of desperation in a marketplace, because it's not working. So that was just a personal learning through the exercise, is it's okay to write down that it was a struggle throughout the last year.
Okay, I love what you said, because I will take the struggle column and build a business around it. Because any life coach is doing what? What a life coach will do?
Teaching about how to navigate through struggle.
And we know that our cousin Google has all the knowledge base.
Yes.
So all what people need to learn from you is what? Your personal experience. I had customers who would write down, I was on drug, I spent 6 years in prison, and the reason to have all of these tattoos on my face, because I was part of a gang. And now, this, but in front of the people he's serving, the government hired him as a not a personal coach, but like as a motivational speaker, and he was speaking in prisons.
Cool.
He shared his story. Very vulnerable. Like when I was working with him, I said like, I enjoy working with him because I never work with somebody who's willing to expose his vulnerability. I look at it as crazy. Can you imagine somebody will come to you and say, I am a criminal, can I help you?
Wow.
So this is very interesting about the struggle column, because if you want to run a business sideways or passive income, and how you can maximize the profit of the struggle, you can basically record some videos, you can sell them, and this can sell and so on. You spend like 1 day a week or 1 day a month or whatever. These all are ideas not used yet, okay?
Yeah.
But it's just a different positioning of your struggle column. So I love the struggle columns, because when you tell your personal story, you have to show how you came up with to this business. So part of it is I struggled with it. I bankrupted companies. And after I bankrupted companies, I knew for the last 17 ones how they were doing it right. Do you want me to help you now?
I just heard bankrupt, and that's.
But this is the truth. If people have the complete experience, they will be more sought after for business. So I love your personal decision that you said, okay, let's just get the struggling learning and just do it. However, there are other people making money out of being struggle, and they still struggle till now. But they still have customers. They have people who are paying them to help them, which is, I call it blind leading the blind. But one of the blinds paying money, so it's okay. Anyway, any other reflections? Sure, I agree.
It's been great.
Yeah. Claudio, what's your reflection?
Yeah, this was a very, very interesting day. Because when I look at the format of 2017 and you split it in 4, for me, that format works. The first quadrant would be my past 8 years, not my past 3 months of the 2017. My past 8 years have a very distinct format to it. And the last 2017 is when I decided to do workshop on change management. And lo and behold, you better experience different kind of changes. This year has been one change after another, after another, after another, after another. And wow, I never went through so many changes in 1 year. So that was interesting. And then I can use the rest of my experience where my expertise lies to split it up into the other 3 quadrants. Struggles I love, because I ended up business bankruptcy in 1991. I lost everything because I wasn't a good. Well, I didn't understand business well enough. So that was a huge struggle at age, in 1991, it was like when I was 18. What I had on my back is all I had. Start over again. So I've started my life over 3 times so far.
This is good. This is very, very wonderful information.
Yeah.
So, one fruitful source here is, if you want to talk about change management, look at building this for 16 years and get the resolution of one quarter or 1 month, and see if you have been doing activities in this particular leaves for change management.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find area is empty, try to remember or figure out if some of the activities there will be helping change management. I don't like doing the framing way, but this is one way to do it. Like, I would write everything, and for me, I cannot use the tables. After I use the table, I come here and write very simple sentences. This is what Marcelo was telling me in the break. That's the previous format of this course is we have to write all the sentences here. But the tables are more, is a better tool to collect information. And then you can go and fill the blanks. Like, what happened? If this is a gap, we hide it. If you can figure out some other activities happen which support this particular theme or thread, you start now to revise the things. So this is, I call it a tool for thinking.
Beautiful tool.
Okay, Cami, do you want to reflect?
Yeah, sometimes what I found going back is that I actually had to go back even farther to 4.5 years old. So that's over 44 years ago. So sometimes where you get your strength or your, who you are, it can be built at 2, 3, 4 years old if you can actually remember. I remember vividly since I was 3. So I guess I'm blessed because I remember my 3rd birthday, and every birthday after that I vividly remember it up to this day. It's not a fog, it's not nothing, it's very vivid. So I had to go back that far. Sometimes is who you are, what you're doing, and your purpose in life, it's sometimes you go even further. And it's funny because it's exactly on point as to what I want to do. And I wanted to do up to this point is from that point in time. So thank you.
Mariana, you want to reflect on what?
Well, I think I have a lot of it already, so it's a matter of fine tuning. And so I think it was very valuable.
You want to reflect on today?
Yeah, I found it was very valuable because I have been struggling on how to present my story and how to explain things and put it on my website and share with other people. So.
And remember, when you talk about your story, the story is what? It's a stool of 3 to 5 legs. One of them is pain point, one of them is defining moment, one of them is happy outcome. That's right? This is what we have been sharing all year long with, right? So when you write this information here, and then people come, can you tell us your personal story? It's nothing different, guys. So a story, HO is like happy outcome. So a story is a pain point, defining moment, and happy outcome. The questions which I have is supposed to lead you to be able to articulate in this way. Which one of the columns you will share is function of what you are presenting. And yeah, so yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have no other questions, we just can close now and see you next time.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.